Hi everyone, so we are from Group 6. So first of all, I need to introduce our team. We have Dang Yanro, Ding Jialing, Tang Junle, Liu Qiyan, and me, the presenter, Li Zhenyu. So this is the content for our presentation. So first of all, we need to know what is the sequential files allocation. So there are a few characteristics. The first characteristic is the contiguous storage. So actually, the files are allocated in the contiguous blocks of the storage space, which means that the blocks allocated to a files are physically adjacent to each other on the storage medium. So when the files is created or extended, the OS just allocates the next available contiguous blocks to accommodate the files data. Then next will be the fixed size blocks. So actually the storage medium or the memory is divided into the fixed size block with the fixed numbers of bytes. So the files are allocated a certain numbers of these blocks depending their size. The last characteristics is the simple access. So to access the data in sequential allocated files is very straightforward. So you just need to simply read through the file sequentially from the beginning until the desired locations and access the specific pieces data that we need in the files. So next will be the advantages and disadvantages for the sequential file allocation. So for the advantage is simple and efficient for applications that access data sequentially. So this just like I mentioned at the characteristics, the simple access. So you just need to read from the beginnings to the ends. Next will be minimal overhead in terms of file system management since files are stored contiguously. And the last advantages is well suited for storage devices with limited sticks capabilities such as magnetic tape drives. So it is similar with the first advantages. So we just need to read to the first until the end. So next is the disadvantages. So first is the susceptible to fragmentations as files are created, modified, and deleted over time, leading to waste space and decreased performance. Next is the not suitable for application with frequency random access pattern. And last is difficulties arise when extending files if contiguous space is not available. So next will be our flow charts. So here is our flow chart. So at the main, we just define the maximum blocks equals to 15, and we initialize an array with the size 15 and default elements is 0, which is the block status is 3. So then we will call the askUsers function. So in askUser function, basically is request the input from the users about the start block and the length of the files. Then we will call the allocate files function. So this allocate file function is used to do the allocations. Then if the allocations, the file is allocated successfully, then we will call the print allocated blocks to print out the changes block. Here also have a check allocated files. This is used to print out the status of for the all blocks. Yeah. So here will be the pseudocodes. Yeah, so we just pass through this. And now we have the codes demonstrations. So here is our code. So we define the maximum blocks equals to 15. So in the main, we call the askUser, and here receive the inputs from the user and call the allocate files. Then in the allocate files, we do the allocations and print the changes with the print allocated blocks. And lastly is check allocated files. So for demonstrations, we prepare an examples here. So we have, for example, we have 4 files. So for the first file, the start block will be 0 and the length will be 2. So the file is allocated successfully and the blocks will the status occupied will occupy the block 0s and 1. Then we go to the next files, which is the start block is 1 and the length is 3. So the file is allocated successfully, but here you can see that the start block is not from 1, but it's 2. The reason is the block 1 is occupied and it will find the contiguous block, which is 2, and the length is 3, so it will occupy the 2, 3, and 4. Then we go to the next block, which is 3. So the start block will be 7 and the length will be 5. So you can see that the blocks will occupy the 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it's as usual. Then here for the file 4, the starting block is 10, the length is 4. Here shows that the files allocated unsuccessfully. The reason why is because the block 10 is actually the block 10 is actually occupied, and the contiguous blocks is block 12. But it is not enough space for the length 4. Here is left the 3 blocks here. So it is allocated unsuccessfully. In short conclusion, the sequential files allocations is simple to implement as it is straightforward and efficient for sequential access, just like I mentioned before. It just simply read from the beginnings to the end. But it still has some weakness, which is limited flexibility. For example, the files modification, deletion, and insertions is burden to it, and it's also not suitable for random access. That's all from us. Thank you.